Imagine a close-up shot of a jumping spider's eyes, filling the screen in the microscopic world of insects. There's a predator with eyes so sharp, they rival the most advanced cameras. Welcome to the fascinating realm of jumping spiders, nature's tiny acrobats with a visual system that defies their size. Transition to a wide shot of a jumping spider on a leaf. Jumping spiders, members of the family Salticidae, are not your average arachnid. These small but mighty hunters have captured the attention of scientists and nature enthusiasts alike, thanks to their extraordinary abilities and complex behaviors. At first glance, what stands out most about these spiders are their eyes. Unlike the cluster of simple eyes found in most spiders, jumping spiders possess a set of eyes that are nothing short of remarkable. Their two large forward-facing principal eyes are flanked by 3 pairs of smaller secondary eyes, giving them an almost 360-degree field of view. But it's not just the number of eyes that's impressive. The principal eyes of jumping spiders contain a unique retinal structure that allows for exceptional visual acuity. This intricate eye design enables them to see with clarity that is unparalleled in the invertebrate world, rivaling even some vertebrates. Cut to footage of a jumping spider moving its body to scan its surroundings to compensate for their fixed eyes. Jumping spiders have developed a fascinating behavior. They move their entire body to scan their environment, much like how we would turn our heads to look around. This scanning behavior, combined with their excellent vision, allows them to detect and track potential prey with astonishing precision. But perhaps what truly sets jumping spiders apart is their ability to leap. As their name suggests, these spiders are capable of jumping distances many times their body length. What's even more intriguing is how they achieve these impressive jumps. Show slow-motion footage of a jumping spider leaping. Unlike other jumping insects that use powerful leg muscles, jumping spiders employ a hydraulic system to propel themselves through the air. By rapidly increasing the blood pressure in their legs, they can extend them swiftly, launching their bodies with incredible force. This unique mechanism allows them to cover distances up to 50 times their body length in a single bound. The jumping ability of these spiders isn't just for show. It's a crucial part of their hunting strategy. Jumping spiders are active hunters, issuing the traditional web-building approach of many of their spider relatives. Transition to a scene of a jumping spider stalking prey. Their hunting behavior is a testament to their patience and precision. A jumping spider will carefully stalk its prey, moving slowly and deliberately to avoid detection. When the moment is right, it will leap with lightning speed, often covering a significant distance to land precisely on its unsuspecting victim. This hunting prowess is made possible by a combination of their exceptional eyesight, agile movements, and powerful jumps. It's a strategy that has proven highly effective, allowing jumping spiders to thrive in a variety of habitats around the world. Show a montage of different jumping spider species with various colors and patterns. But there's more to jumping spiders than their hunting abilities. Many species of jumping spiders are renowned for their vibrant colors and intricate patterns. From iridescent blues and greens to bold reds and blacks, these spiders are some of the most visually striking arachnids in the world. These colors aren't just for show. They play a crucial role in one of the most fascinating aspects of jumping spider behavior: their elaborate mating rituals. Cut to footage of male jumping spiders performing mating dances. Male jumping spiders of many species perform complex courtship dances to attract females. These dances can involve intricate leg movements, body vibrations, and even the use of specialized colorful appendages. It's a spectacle that showcases the complexity of spider behavior and challenges our perceptions of arachnid intelligence. The mating dances of jumping spiders are not only visually impressive but also serve an important biological function. They allow females to assess the fitness of potential mates, ensuring the continuation of strong genetic lines within the species. Transition to scenes of jumping spiders in various natural habitats. Beyond their individual fascinating traits, jumping spiders play a significant role in many ecosystems. As predators, they help control populations of various insects, including many that we consider pests. Their presence in gardens and agricultural areas can contribute to natural pest management, reducing the need for chemical pesticides. Moreover, jumping spiders serve as prey for a variety of other animals, including birds, lizards, and larger spiders. This places them in an important position within food webs, helping to maintain the balance of their ecosystems. Show close-up shots of jumping spiders interacting with their environment. The more we study jumping spiders, the more we discover about their complex behaviors and cognitive abilities. Recent research has shown that some species of jumping spiders can plan ahead, solve problems, and even exhibit signs of object permanence. The understanding that objects continue to exist even when they aren't to be seen. These findings challenge our understanding of invertebrate intelligence and raise intriguing questions about the cognitive capabilities of these small but remarkable creatures. Final montage of jumping spider footage, showcasing their various behaviors and habitats. From their extraordinary vision and acrobatic jumps to their elaborate courtship dances and ecological importance, Jumping spiders are truly marvels of the natural world. They remind us that even in the tiniest corners of our planet, there exist creatures of incredible complexity and beauty. As we continue to study and understand these fascinating arachnids, we not only gain insights into the diversity of life on Earth, but also challenge our perceptions of what small creatures are capable of. The world of jumping spiders is a testament to the wonders that await us when we take a closer look at the small things in life. In the grand tapestry of nature, jumping spiders may be small threads, but they weave a story of adaptation, complexity, and surprising intelligence. They invite us to look closer, think deeper, and appreciate the extraordinary in the seemingly ordinary. For in understanding these tiny marvels, we gain a greater appreciation for the intricate web of life that surrounds us all. In the hidden corners of our world, nature's most extraordinary artists are at work. Behold the stick insects, masters of disguise and regeneration. As dawn breaks over a lush forest, sunlight filters through the canopy, revealing a world teeming with life. Yet, to the untrained eye, much of this life remains invisible, camouflaged among the branches and leaves. Stick insects blend seamlessly into these remarkable creatures come in an astounding array of shapes and sizes. Some mimic slender twigs while others resemble broad leaves, complete with intricate vein patterns. Their bodies, a testament to millions of years of evolution, are perfectly adapted to their environment. But the stick insect's mastery of disguise is just the beginning of their incredible story. In the face of danger, these insects possess a surprising defense mechanism. When threatened, they can voluntarily detach their own limbs, a process known as autotomy. This sacrificial act allows them to escape predators, leaving behind a twitching leg as a distraction. Yet, what truly sets stick insects apart is not their ability to lose limbs, but to regrow them. As we zoom in closer, the intricate details of a stick insect's leg come into focus. At the joint where the leg was severed, a tiny bud begins to form. This is the first stage of an extraordinary regeneration process. Over the coming weeks, this bud will slowly develop into a fully functional limb, but the journey is not a simple one. The stick insect must undergo several molts, shedding its exoskeleton to allow for growth. With each molt, the regenerating limb grows larger. At first, it appears as a small, pale stub, but as time passes, it gradually takes on the color and texture of the insect's other legs. The process is a delicate dance of timing and precision. The stick insect must carefully balance its energy between regeneration and survival. Too much focus on regrowing the limb could leave it vulnerable to predators or unable to find food. Yet, nature has honed this process over countless generations. The stick insect's body knows exactly how to allocate resources, ensuring that the new limb develops without compromising the insect's overall health. As we watch this miraculous transformation unfold, we're reminded of the resilience of life. In the face of adversity, nature finds a way to adapt and overcome. The final molt reveals a fully regenerated leg, indistinguishable from the others. It's a moment of triumph, a testament to the stick insect's remarkable ability to heal and restore itself. But the story doesn't end here. The stick insect's regenerative abilities extend beyond just limbs. Some species can even regrow lost antennae or other body parts. This extraordinary capacity for renewal has fascinated scientists for decades. By studying stick insects, researchers hope to unlock secrets that could one day benefit human medicine. Imagine a future where humans could regenerate lost limbs or repair damaged organs. While such possibilities may seem like science fiction, the humble stick insect shows us that nature has already mastered these feats. As our journey through the world of stick insects comes to an end, we're left with a profound sense of wonder. These unassuming creatures, often overlooked in the grand tapestry of nature, hold within them secrets that could revolutionize our understanding of biology. The stick insect reminds us that even in the smallest corners of our world, miracles are happening every day. It teaches us that adaptation and resilience are not just survival strategies, but art forms perfected over millions of years. As we pull back to take in the forest once more, we see it with new eyes. The trees and plants are no longer just scenery, but potential hiding places for these masters of disguise. And perhaps, hidden among the leaves, a stick insect is at this very moment regrowing a lost limb, silently demonstrating the incredible power of life to heal and renew itself. In a world that often seems chaotic and unpredictable, the stick insect offers a quiet lesson in perseverance. No matter what challenges we face, nature shows us that with time and patience, we too can regenerate, adapt, and thrive. As the sun sets on our forest, casting long shadows across the landscape, we're left with a sense of awe at the complexity and beauty of the natural world. The stick insect, once a mere curiosity, now stands as a symbol of nature's ingenuity and resilience. In the grand theater of evolution, every creature plays a role. And while the stick insect may not be the star of the show, its ability to regenerate and adapt makes it one of nature's most impressive supporting actors. As we bid farewell to these remarkable insects, we carry with us a newfound appreciation for the hidden wonders that surround us. In the quiet corners of our world, life continues to evolve, adapt, and amaze. The stick insect story is just one of countless tales waiting to be discovered in nature. It reminds us to look closer, to question our assumptions, and to never underestimate the potential for renewal and growth that exists in all living things. And so, as night falls and the forest settles into a gentle hush, we leave with hearts full of wonder and minds brimming with questions. What other marvels might be hiding in plain sight? What lessons can we learn from the smallest of creatures? The stick insect, master of disguise and regeneration, has shown us that sometimes the most extraordinary stories are found in the most unassuming places. It challenges us to look beyond the surface, to seek out the hidden miracles that occur every day in the natural world. As we return to our own lives, may we carry with us the lessons of the stick insect. May we remember that even in our darkest moments, we too have the capacity to regenerate, to adapt, and to emerge stronger than before. For in the end, we are all part of this grand tapestry of life, each of us with our own remarkable abilities waiting to be discovered. And like the stick insect, we too can find ways to thrive, no matter what challenges we may face. So the next time you walk through a forest or park, take a moment to look closely at the world around you. For hidden among the leaves and branches, nature's greatest marvels are waiting to be discovered. And who knows, you might just spot a stick insect, silently demonstrating the incredible power of life to endure, adapt, and regenerate. In the amazing world of life on Earth, beetles really stand out for their crazy abundance and diversity. Seriously, these little guys are like the unsung heroes of our planet, mastering survival in ways that just blow our minds. They're everywhere, and they come in all shapes and sizes, which is just fascinating. Right, get ready to dive into their world and be wowed by the cool details and hidden gems of these awesome insects. From tiny specks you can barely see to big ones that fit right in your palm, beetles have found a home in almost every nook and cranny of our world. It's like they've got a VIP pass to every ecosystem out there. Can you believe that these creatures make up about 40% of all known insect species? Yep, that's right. Beetles are the most numerous insect group on Earth, and it's not just luck. They've got some seriously impressive tricks up their sleeves. Their secret weapon, a unique body structure that's stood strong for millions of years. Isn't that just wild? At the core of their success is a natural wonder, the elytra. These tough forewings act like a protective shield, a living armor that keeps their delicate flying wings safe underneath. Imagine having a built-in safety net like that. This smart design is what makes beetles so special, helping them thrive even in the toughest environments. It's like they're nature's little tanks, ready to take on whatever comes their way. But wait, there's more. The wonder of beetles goes way beyond their tough shells. When we take a closer look, we see an incredible variety of colors and patterns. Just think about the shiny jewel beetles or the beautiful designs on ladybugs. Nature really shows off its artistry here. Some beetles have colors so vibrant they look like they've been dipped in paint. It's like a rainbow exploded, and these little guys are the result. Picture this. In a tropical rainforest, a tiny beetle, no bigger than a grain of rice, scurries across a leaf. Its small size doesn't mean it's not important. Nearby, a rhinoceros beetle, much larger, uses its impressive horns to navigate through the thick foliage. This contrast in size is just a peek into the wild diversity that beetles represent. It's like a miniature world of giants and tiny wonders all in one place. As we step back and take a broader view, we start to see how crucial these insects are in keeping our ecosystems balanced. Some beetles, with their bright colors and fuzzy bodies, buzz from flower to flower, helping with pollination while they go about their day. They're like little gardeners, ensuring that plants can reproduce and thrive. Can you imagine a world without them? It would be a whole lot less colorful. Others are like nature's cleanup crew, breaking down dead stuff and returning important nutrients to the soil. In the big cycle of life and death, these unsung heroes make sure nothing goes to waste in the natural world. They're the ultimate recyclers, turning what could be waste into something beneficial. It's a pretty sweet gig if you ask me, but that's not all. Many beetle species are natural pest controllers, keeping the pesky bugs in check. They're like silent guardians of our crops and forests, working hard behind the scenes to keep everything in harmony. Without them, we'd be overrun with pests, and our food supply would be in serious trouble. Talk about a vital role. Even more impressively, beetles play a key role in the food chain, providing sustenance for countless other species. From tiny birds to larger mammals, many animals rely on beetles as a vital source of nutrition. In this way, these humble insects are crucial links in the intricate web of life. They're like the foundation of a house. Without them, everything would come crashing down. As we travel around the globe, from scorching deserts to freezing tundras, we find beetles that have adapted to survive in some of the most extreme conditions. Their ability to thrive in such diverse habitats is a testament to their incredible adaptability. It's like they're the ultimate survivors, proving that life can find a way no matter the challenge. In the Sahara, darkling beetles have developed clever ways to collect precious water droplets, using their specially adapted bodies to harvest moisture from the morning fog. Isn't that amazing? They've turned a harsh environment into their personal oasis. Meanwhile, in the depths of the Amazon rainforest, beetles navigate through a world of shadows, finely tuned to life in the dim light. It's like they've got their own secret map, Up in the mountains, where the air is thin and temperatures drop, ice beetles have created antifreeze proteins that let them survive in freezing conditions. How cool is that? They're literally walking popsicles. And in the dark depths of underground caves, blind cave beetles have lost their eyes but gained super senses of touch and smell, perfectly suited for their lightless homes. It's like they've adapted to their environment in the most incredible ways. This amazing adaptability isn't just about physical traits. Beetles have also developed complex behaviors and social structures that rival those of bigger animals. Some species, like dung beetles, can navigate using the stars, a skill we thought only higher animals could do. They're like little astronomers using the night sky to find their way home. How cool is that? Others, like ambrosia beetles, have their own form of agriculture, growing fungal gardens in the tunnels they dig into trees. This partnership between beetle and fungus helps both thrive in environments where others might struggle. It's a true team effort. They've figured out how to work together, and it's just a beautiful example of cooperation in nature. As we watch these incredible insects, we're reminded of the deep connections that link all living things. The story of beetles isn't just about survival. It's a testament to the resilience and creativity of life itself. It's a reminder that even the smallest creatures can have a huge impact on the world around them, from the tiniest feather-winged beetles to the massive Hercules beetles that can be bigger than a human hand. These insects continue to surprise and inspire us. Their success story, stretching over millions of years, teaches us valuable lessons about adaptability and perseverance. They're like little teachers, showing us how to thrive no matter the circumstances. As our journey through the beetle world wraps up, we can't help but appreciate these often overlooked creatures in their diversity, adaptability, and crucial roles in ecosystems. Beetles truly embody the wonder and complexity of nature. They're like the hidden gems of the insect world, waiting to be discovered. Next time you spot a beetle scurrying by or hear the gentle buzz of its wings, take a moment to appreciate the incredible history and importance of these remarkable insects. Because in the story of beetles, we find a reflection of life's endless capacity for innovation and survival. It's a beautiful reminder that no matter how small or insignificant something may seem, it can play a huge role in the bigger picture. In the grand scheme of nature, beetles stand as a shining example of the extraordinary potential that lies within even the smallest of creatures. Their journey, spanning millions of years and countless adaptations, continues to unfold right before our eyes, a living testament to evolution's boundless creativity. So let's give a shout out to our little beetle buddies. They deserve all the love and appreciation we can give them. Have you ever been outside and gotten totally ravaged by mosquitoes? It seems like they're out to get you, especially if you're like me and you have O-positive blood. I got it bad. Well, if you don't know already, there's one big thing that sets mosquitoes apart from other insects. And no, it's not their annoying buzzing or their incredible ability to find you even when you've got a shirt on. It's the fact that only half of them suck blood. So who are these bloodsuckers and what do the non-bloodsuckers do instead? Well, let's get into it. Alright, so first things first. We're gonna start with the males because, yeah, I guess I was kind of interested in the males. I mean, honestly, they seem more chill. They don't suck blood, which is super nice of them, and instead they mostly hang out around flowers where they slurp up some sweet nectar and plant juices. Now, I don't want to call them lazy, but since they get all their calories from plants, they don't really need to hunt, so like whatever. Some species do hunt other insects. That's fine, but most of them are happy just living that sweet life. And actually, because they're constantly sipping nectar from different flowers, they end up carrying pollen with them wherever they go. So they actually help pollinate the very flowers they're drinking from. So good for them. I guess they're doing something nice for the world. Now, you might be wondering, well, if they don't drink blood, then what's this video about? Well, it's about the females. See, females are the ones that crave blood. So they're the ones we need to be careful of. And also, honestly, this is just a really fun fact that I think everybody should know. You can impress your friends. You can be like, oh, did you know that only female mosquitoes suck blood? They'll be like, wait, really? That's awesome? Like, I wish I could just be like that. Nobody asked you to be like that. But anyway, moving on. Okay, so why do females need blood? Well, we don't exactly know. I mean, we have some ideas, but nobody has actually seen a mosquito like sit down at a meal and be like, this is delicious. I love blood. It's the flavor that I crave more than anything else in the world. I don't think they say that. Instead, we have to kind of infer what they're thinking based on what they do. And what we see is that they need blood for eggs. That's it. That's the one thing we know for sure. Scientists have found that mosquitoes need certain things in our blood that they just can't get from plants. Maybe they need our blood to make their eggs viable. Or maybe they need it to keep their eggs from being destroyed inside of them. Whatever the reason, they need blood. Now, it's unclear if they need every single animal's blood. One study found that mosquitoes in Africa prefer the blood of pregnant women over the blood of non-pregnant women and also over the blood of men. And if you're wondering why pregnant women specifically, it's probably because their blood has higher levels of nutrients like iron, which is like great for making eggs. That's what they need. So they go after pregnant women. Thanks, ladies. I guess we're just always giving and never getting anything back. Anyway, they're definitely not doing it for the eating experience. Again, nobody's ever sat down to a meal of blood and said, this is delicious. And also, they're definitely not doing it to stay alive. Sure, their blood meal might give them some energy, but if they're trying to stay alive, they would need more than just one meal. Our blood isn't particularly nutritious, so it's not going to keep them alive for very long. No, scientists think that they are only interested in our blood for those specific nutrients they need for egg laying. Once they get enough of those, they're done. They don't want anything more to do with our blood. And hey, now that you know that mosquitoes only bite when they're looking for protein for their eggs, does that make you feel better about getting bitten? Does it make it less itchy? For me personally, knowing that mosquitoes bite me so I can have babies doesn't really make it any less itchy. It's still really itchy. Oh my gosh, it's like I haven't stopped scratching since I went outside. So next time you get bitten by a mosquito, you'll know who's to blame. But what if you don't want to point the finger at a specific mosquito? What if you just want to point at mosquitoes in general and be like, you guys suck? Well, how can you tell if the mosquito you're pointing at is a female? Well, lucky for you, there's an easy way. Just look at their antennae. If they're thick and hairy, you're looking at a male. And if they're thin and hairless, you're looking at a female. Also, females are usually a little bigger than males. Not always, but usually. So if you want to play it safe and you don't feel like checking their IDs, you could just avoid mosquitoes that are bigger than your pinky. I mean, that's a rule of thumb, right? If it's bigger than your pinky, it sucks blood. If it's smaller than your pinky, it's just here for the plants, so don't worry. That's a rule I've made up and I'm putting it out there. Yeah, that's basically all you need to know about mosquitoes. Half of them suck blood and half of them don't. And we tend to focus way too much on the bloodsuckers. Yeah, they're dangerous, they transmit diseases, they make us itch like crazy. But the other half, the nice half, gets almost no attention. So I'm sorry. To all the mosquitoes out there that just want to sip some sweet nectar and pollinate some flowers, I apologize. I'm sorry we have so much in common with the bloodsuckers. I apologize. I guess I'll see you next time. Oh my god, I'm covered in mosquitoes. Help. Do you have a fun fact you'd like to share? Well, you can do it right here. It's super easy. All you have to do is click the link. Well, actually, before that, you have to come up with a fun fact. But after that, click the link. Then fill out the form and submit it. And if we use your fun fact in a future video, we'll give you full credit and all the glory you deserve. Plus, you'll be helping out because sometimes we need your help coming up with fun facts. So thank you for watching. And remember, only half of mosquitoes suck blood. The other half just wants to be your friend. Most of us find flies pretty annoying. They're always buzzing around at the worst possible moment and landing on our food. But despite how annoying they can be, it's also quite difficult to completely get rid of them. After all, there are 4 stages of the life cycle that we need to break before we can even hope to destroy them. And if we don't hurry up and do that, then these little monsters will have multiplied so much by the time we're done that it'll be like starting over again from scratch. But why is it exactly that flies multiply so quickly? Is it just because they're pests and nature has given them the ability to irritate us as much as possible? Or is there something more going on here? Well, the answer lies in 2 very simple facts. The first is that flies don't live very long, and the second is that they reproduce incredibly quickly. And today, let's take a closer look at what makes these animals so determined to pack as many offspring into their short lives as possible. First of all, let's clear up a misconception. Flies may seem very persistent, and some species are, but houseflies only live for about 28 days, and that's already not very much. Humans have an average lifespan of 79 years. Even dogs live for at least 10 times longer than flies. So yes, flies are very tenacious, but not immortal. Adult flies even less than a month. You might think that such a creature just has no time to do anything, but this is where the next fact comes into play. A female fly during her short life can lay up to 500 eggs. And although the majority of them will never hatch due to external factors, nevertheless, even if only a fraction of those eggs end up producing offspring, the overall result will be pretty impressive. And the reason for such a large number of eggs is clear. It's all about the speed of reproduction. If a new generation of flies develops from egg to adult fly in about 7 to 10 days, then you can easily imagine how quickly all this can add up. For example, if 100 female flies lay 500 eggs each, that's already 50,000 future flies. And in just a couple of weeks, there could be hundreds of thousands of them. And if each of the females from this batch lays 500 eggs, then the total number of eggs laid will be millions. All this happens pretty quickly and efficiently. Even though we said that flies live for about a month, it's worth clarifying that this figure applies to optimal conditions. In reality, flies usually live much less. Therefore, if you find a fly in your home, there's a high chance that its lifespan will be significantly reduced. But this factor doesn't reduce the efficiency of reproduction. Quite the contrary, when flies find themselves in conditions with abundant food, like inside a house, they grow faster and reproduce even more prolifically. And even if they die earlier than usual, each female will still have time to give birth to several generations of offspring. Flies can start mating when they're only a few hours old, and females often mate multiple times. In optimal conditions, a new generation of flies can be born within a week, which is incredibly fast, especially compared to humans, who have to wait 9 months. Under such conditions, each female fly can give birth to at least 10 new flies. And in just 10 days, a single fly can turn into hundreds of thousands of individuals. This means that just one female fly can lay about 50,000 eggs in her life, and each of them will hatch into a new fly. And all this in just a month. But the most interesting thing is that flies are able to repeat this whole cycle over and over again. If a female fly hatches from an egg at 7 a.m. and mates successfully, then by 7 p.m. the same day, she'll already be ready to lay her first batch of eggs. And within a week, the first descendants will begin to emerge. And by the time the initial batch of flies reaches sexual maturity, the mother fly will have already laid another 500 eggs. And this process will continue until the death of the female fly. So in just a month, a single fly will have time to give birth to several generations of offspring. And all this would be fine if flies didn't pose any danger to humans, but unfortunately, they do. These creatures pollute everything they touch with their paws and bodies, which are often in contact with rotting organic matter. In addition, flies carry serious diseases such as cholera, typhoid, fever, dysentery, tuberculosis, and even the plague. Their presence in food is very unpleasant and dangerous. In order to avoid problems with these insects, many people use various types of traps and sprays. However, sometimes these measures are not enough, and the fight against flies continues year after year. And all because during their short lives, flies manage to multiply so much that getting rid of them completely is almost impossible. When you decide to deal with flies, you must do it carefully and know exactly what to target. If you kill adult flies, then nothing will change because their eggs will soon hatch and the whole cycle will start anew. Therefore, the fight against flies should be comprehensive. First, it's necessary to eliminate what attracts them in the first place. Flies are attracted by the smell of spoiled food, rotten garbage, and dirty dishes. Therefore, it's important to store food properly, take out the trash regularly, and wash dishes promptly. Otherwise, flies will keep coming back. You can also try to repel flies by planting certain plants like basil, lavender, mint, or bay leaves near your home. The smell of these plants is not very appealing to flies and mosquitoes. Another effective way to deal with flies is to use flypaper or electric traps. They lure flies in with light and then zap them. Just make sure to place these devices far away from your food and out of reach of children and pets. There are also special sprays and liquids that can get rid of flies pretty quickly. Just remember that after using these products, you need to ventilate the room well, because the chemicals in them can be harmful to your health. Some people also use more natural methods like hanging fly ribbons or placing fly plants like capenses or fat plants near windows. And don't forget to seal up any cracks or holes in your home, because that's how flies get in. Despite their extremely short lifespan, houseflies are one of the most biologically successful creatures on the planet. Their ability to reproduce incredibly quickly allows them to spread rapidly and infect humans with dangerous diseases. That's why it's so important to know how to get rid of these insects once and for all. Well, now you know what the secret is. Write down in the comments if you knew it before, and like the video if you liked it. See you soon. Bye. Most of us think of ants as solitary foraging insects. They seem so intent on gathering their crumbs and disappearing back into the nest that we don't often stop to think about whether they might be doing something else, something more complicated. For instance, did you know some ant species know how to milk cows? No, not tiny plastic cows made by humans, real live cows, but even smaller than the ants themselves, cows that fit snugly on the tip of the ant's jaws. Welcome to Life Noggin. Today we're going to explore this unexpected relationship and find out why certain ant species prefer dairy farming to hunting. Let's start at the beginning. What kind of cows do ants herd? Well, the answer is aphids. Aphids are tiny soft-bodied insects that feed on the sugary sap found in plant stems and leaves. As they suck the sap from their plant host, they excrete a sweet liquid called honeydew, and that honeydew is exactly what ants are after. To understand why ants would want to drink honeydew, or for that matter why cows would want to give it up, we need to talk about nutrition. Honeybee colonies are made up of both male and female ants, but only the females do the foraging. Male ants spend most of their time in the nest, either guarding it or tending to the colony's eggs and larvae. But all those activities require lots of energy. It's hard to be a stay-at-home dad. Luckily for the males, female ants can bring home the calories. Foraging ants search for food, but they aren't very choosy eaters. They will consume pretty much any sugar source they come across, including honeydew. Although honeydew is high in sugar, it also has some protein, fat, and amino acids, which are molecules that make proteins and are essential for building and repairing tissues. Overall, honeydew is a well-balanced snack, which is good news for ants because their closest relatives, the aphids, tend to live on plants that are full of nutritious sap. So the two species' diets overlap a lot. In fact, there are some aphid species that are so efficient at converting plant sap into honeydew, they produce around 3 times as much as they need themselves. That means there's plenty to go around, especially if you know how to ask nicely. Now, even though ants love honeydew, They don't actually farm aphids for their cuteness. Nature isn't nearly as cute as humans think it is. Instead, ants farm aphids because they're basically little factories that pump out honeydew on demand. But how do ants get the cows to give up their milk? Some of the world's 12,000 or so ant species have figured out how to tap aphids. It all starts when an ant colony finds an aphid nest. Worker ants rush over and begin carrying the aphids back to the nest, one by one. There, the ants stash the aphids in chambers that lead to tunnels running throughout the rest of the colony. These tunnels keep the aphids safe from predators and make it easier for the ants to get to them. They also give the ants access to honeydew produced by the aphids. Once the aphids are safely tucked away in the nest, the worker ants leave some of them behind to continue producing babies, while others venture back out into the world to forage. Because these outside aphids are exposed to predators like ladybugs, the ants must protect them. So every now and then, the foraging ants take a break to check on their cow herd. When they do, they carry the aphids back to the nest, depositing them carefully in the aphid nursery before heading back out to look for more food. The whole process is a bit like shepherding sheep, except with much smaller animals and no wool. Once the ants are done collecting food, they return to the nest and regurgitate, meaning they spit up some of their snack for the aphids. The ants save the best part of their haul, the sugary treats. For last though, they open their mouths wide and present the honey-rich droplets to the aphids, who eagerly lap them up. But why do the ants do this? Why not just let the aphids come to them? After all, they're bringing the food right to the cow's doorsteps. Well, the ants may be trying to ensure that the aphids have enough nutrition in their diet. If the aphids don't get enough nutrients, they can't produce enough honeydew. By sharing their meal, the ants make sure their cow herd stays healthy and productive. That said, the ants aren't running a petting zoo here. They're running a dairy farm. So once the aphids are done eating, the ants need to collect their payment. But since aphids don't carry cash, the ants have evolved special ways of tapping their cows for honeydew, depending on the species. Ants may gently stroke the aphids with their antennae or legs or pinch them in a specific spot until they release a drop of honeydew. When the ant wants another helping, it just taps again, and the process repeats itself until the ant is satiated, and the ants aren't greedy. Any extra honeydew that they don't need gets saved for later. They store it in their crops, the sacks that they use to hold food before digesting it, until they need it later. Now, some people have criticized this farming technique as being too brutal, and it probably is. But remember, nature isn't cute. Animals like ants don't feel bad about what they do. They just do what they need to survive. And the ants aren't alone in this endeavor. The aphids benefit from this relationship, too. By living in the ant nest, the aphids are protected from predators and ladybugs, who, as mentioned before, really love to eat aphids. Ladybugs are so fond of the taste that if they spot an unprotected aphid, they will gobble it up in a single bite. But when ants farm aphids, ladybugs steer clear of the nests. Not only does this keep the aphids safer, but it also gives them better access to food. You see, ants not only bring the aphids food, they also remove their waste and even feed them to the aphid babies. That's right, ants are raising dairy cows that produce delicious nutrient-packed milk, and they're feeding that milk to their babies. In many ways, ants and aphids have the perfect relationship. The aphids get shelter, safety, and steady access to food, and the ants get an endless supply of fresh milk. Scientists call relationships like these symbiotic, meaning they benefit both species involved. But there are different kinds of symbiotic relationships. Sometimes one partner benefits while the other doesn't really benefit or get hurt. In other cases, one organism benefits while the other is harmed, like when ticks latch onto a deer and drink its blood. Ants and aphids, however, have what scientists call a mutualistic relationship, a partnership where both parties benefit, and mutualism is all around us. Bees get food from plants and pollinate them at the same time. Humans get food from chickens and other farm animals and provide them with food and water in return. Even our friendly dog who greets us at the door each day wants something from us, some pets, belly rubs, maybe a treat or two. We get companionship and love in return, making it a great deal for both of us. Relationships like these are good for more than just the species involved. Mutualism is a powerful force in evolution. When two species interact with each other closely, say by living together or relying on each other for food, they exert evolutionary pressure on one another. Over millions of years, these relationships can cause species to change and adapt to better suit their partner's needs. For instance, when bees and flowering plants began working together, both benefited from the relationship. Plants got pollinated and bees got nectar and pollen to eat. But over time, the relationship caused major changes in both groups. Bees' ability to smell flowers and plants' bright petals and enticing scents are thought to be adaptations to this relationship. Similarly, the story of ants and aphids is a tale of mutualism, but it's also a story about cooperation, something we don't often associate with the insect world. Ants and aphids show us that cooperation can occur between species and that it doesn't always have to be cute. Sometimes it's just weird. Even though these strange partnerships are only a small part of the story of life on Earth, they reveal an important truth about our planet. There are all kinds of relationships between organisms, from beneficial to harmful and everything in between. So the next time you look at an animal, no matter how big or small, remember it has a past, one filled with ancestors and partners that have helped shape it into the creature we see today. And it's not just their distant relatives that shaped them, their current partners, friends and families also play a role in making sure their story continues. Thanks for watching this episode of Life Noggin. If you liked it, hit the like button below to help us grow. And remember, don't tap your cows too hard. They might run away, or worse, you'll get milk on your hands. When we see a bee flying around aimlessly from flower to flower, we often think that they are just randomly looking for something sweet to drink. However, have you ever noticed that whenever a bee flies away, it always returns to the same spot? In fact, the little bee is not aimlessly wandering around. It has a precise map of its surrounding flowers in its mind. Scientists believe that honeybees can memorize more than 100 locations of flowers within a radius of 1 kilometer. They know which flowers have nectar and which ones don't. They remember the distance between themselves and each flower, the direction the flower faces, and even the time the flower blooms, so that they can find a continuous supply of fresh nectar. So today let's take a look at these little guys and see how they memorize the location of so many flowers. Why do you think it's important to memorize the location of the flowers? What if there's a lot of flowers that have nectar? Do you think these bees will get lost? In fact, if a honeybee wants to collect pollen or nectar, it needs to visit thousands of flowers every day. If it doesn't have a good memory, it'll waste a lot of time repeating the same route and won't be able to collect enough pollen and nectar. This means that the bees wouldn't have enough food to eat. But how does a bee use its memory? Does it have a compass or an odometer to keep track of the distances and directions? How does such a tiny bee have such a good memory? There is a saying in China that goes, if you want to know the way, you need to ask those who frequently travel that road. So what better way to memorize the location of the flowers than to constantly visit them? A honeybee will fly back and forth between the hive and the flower several times until it knows exactly where the flower is located. The process starts when the bee first flies out of the hive in search of food. When it finds a flower, it will immediately begin collecting pollen and nectar. After drinking the sweet flower juice, it returns to the hive and tells its teammates where it found the flowers. But how does it tell its teammates the exact location of the flower? Is it through smell? No, that's not it. The flowers all smell similar. Is it by sight? No. Bees can't distinguish colors. So the bees use another method to convey this information. They use a special waggle dance on the surface of the beeswax to convey the exact location of the flower to its teammates. This dance is called the waggle dance. Through this dance, the bee tells its teammates the direction, distance, and other information of the flower. Its teammates can then quickly understand the information and rush to the flower to collect pollen and nectar. You may wonder, since the bee communicates the information through dance, it must have memorized the location of the flower in its own mind, right? Yes, that's exactly the case. The dance moves become ingrained in the bee's memory. Whenever it performs the dance, it remembers the location of the flower. And whenever it wants to collect pollen and nectar, it just needs to perform the corresponding dance moves to find the flower. To memorize the location of the flower, the bee uses two reference points, the sun and the Earth's magnetic field. When a bee moves, it keeps the angle between the direction it's facing and the sun consistent. For example, if it keeps the angle between its body and the sun at 45 degrees, then no matter how far it moves, as long as it keeps the angle between its body and the sun at 45 degrees, it will eventually return to the starting point. This is like when humans use the North Star for navigation. Of course, bees don't have a sextant to measure angles, nor do they know the constellations. All they rely on is their innate ability to sense the direction of the sun. But why would a bee need to memorize the direction of the sun? Wouldn't it change throughout the day? That's right. The position of the sun changes as time passes, so the bee keeps the angle between its body and the sun at 45 degrees and then adds the direction of the magnetic field lines of the Earth to precisely determine the location of the flower. For example, if the bee determines that the flower is 45 degrees to the right of the sun and 20 degrees to the north of the magnetic field lines of the Earth, then the bee can easily locate the flower. If it forgets the location of the flower, it can use the same method to find it again. Of course, bees don't really do complex calculations in their heads. All of this is done instinctively. Scientists have discovered that bees can sense the Earth's magnetic field through their compound eyes. When bees fly, they can see the sky, the ground, and the polarization of light reflected from the sky through their compound eyes. By integrating the signals sent by the photoreceptors in their eyes, bees can determine the exact location of the sun. This allows them to memorize the location of the flowers accurately. Not only do they memorize the direction of the flowers, but they also memorize the distance. How do they memorize the distance? This is related to the structure of their legs. A bee's leg is divided into three sections: the trochanter, the femur, and the tibia. The muscles of the bee are attached to the trochanter. When the muscles contract, the femur moves up and down. Since the length of the femur is known, the distance traveled by the femur indicates the distance traveled by the bee. Therefore, the bee can calculate the distance traveled by recording the number of times its femur moves up and down. Some people might ask, do bees really move their legs while walking? Have you ever paid attention to how a bee walks? When a bee walks, its legs are always fully stretched out and don't move up and down. So this theory doesn't seem to hold up. In fact, the bee calculates the distance traveled while flying, not while walking. In addition to the distance, the bees also need to memorize the time it takes for the flower to bloom. Only when the flower is in full bloom will there be sweet nectar and fresh pollen. If it's too early or too late, there won't be any food. So bees memorize the time it takes for the flower to bloom. For example, if a bee finds a flower containing nectar at 10 o'clock in the morning, it will return to the hive and inform its teammates that there is a flower full of nectar at a certain location. At the same time, it will also remind its teammates that the flower will bloom at around 10 o'clock in the morning, and they should go there at that time to collect pollen and nectar. In this way, through the waggle dance, the bee can memorize the location, direction, distance, and blooming time of the flower, which makes it easier to find the flower next time. This is like giving your friend detailed directions and telling them to go there at a certain time. Isn't it amazing? So you see, memorizing the location of the flower is extremely important for the bees. It allows them to work more efficiently and ensures the survival of the entire hive. Without this ability, they wouldn't be able to survive. At the same time, bees have this ability because they are excellent pilots. They can fly in a straight line and keep the angle between their bodies and the sun at a constant 45 degrees. They can also sense the direction of the Earth's magnetic field through their compound eyes. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to return to the hive after memorizing the location of the flower. However, the most important thing is that bees have a keen sense of smell. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to smell the flowers from a long distance away and wouldn't be able to find the flowers even if they knew the exact location. In nature, bees are not only diligent gardeners, but also excellent pilots and locators. These abilities allow them to play a vital role in our lives. Without bees, the world would be a very different place. So after watching this video, have you ever looked at a bee in a different way? Welcome to share your thoughts in the comments section. Alright little friends, today's video comes to an end. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. We'll see you next time. Hey there, little explorers. It's me. Have you ever wondered where butterflies go when the night falls? Do they sleep like humans? You might be surprised to learn that butterflies don't sleep at all. Well, not in the way that we do anyway. When the sun goes down and the temperatures cool off, most butterflies find a safe place to rest. Maybe it's underneath a large leaf or tucked away in a rock crevice. Then they freeze in place, staying perfectly still until the next morning. To an unsuspecting observer, this may look like a butterfly sleeping, but it's actually just resting. And butterflies can rest like this for a very long time. In fact, some butterflies can remain completely still for several months at a time. But how do they possibly stay like this without needing to use their brains, hearts, or muscles? What is this amazing ability all about? Let's dive in and find out. We are going to explore what happens to a butterfly at night. We'll explain how butterflies rest, why they don't need to sleep, and what it means for them to hibernate. Before we get started, make sure to press the like button below if you love learning about the incredible things that happen in our world. Without further ado, let's get to exploring. When the day is over and it's time for bed, humans go through several stages of sleep. First, we become sleepy and start to doze off. Next, our eyes flutter closed and our muscles relax. Then we enter dreamland before finally waking up and starting a new day. For butterflies, however, the concept of sleep doesn't apply. Instead of relaxing and entering dreamland, butterflies freeze. This is because being awake but immobile is their way of conserving energy while avoiding predators. You see, even though a butterfly's body is small, it has many parts that move and function independently of each other. There is its head, thorax, and abdomen, as well as 6 legs, 2 pairs of wings, and a proboscis, which is the long, straw-like mouthpart that they use to drink nectar from flowers. When a butterfly is fluttering around, all these parts are moving constantly. However, when they land and close their wings, most of their body parts become still, minimizing the amount of energy they need to survive. Butterflies can usually be found resting during the coldest parts of the day, such as early mornings and evenings, as well as during inclement weather. When a butterfly decides to rest, it looks for a suitable spot to hide. Some butterflies like to rest on leaves, while others prefer to hide under rocks or in tree bark crevices. Once they find a good spot, they position themselves in a way that makes them difficult to spot. Many butterflies will also darken their colors so that they blend in with their surroundings. Finally, they close their wings tightly against their bodies, tucking in their legs and antennae, so that they are not visible. When a butterfly rests like this, it becomes motionless, sometimes remaining still for hours or even days. During this time, they are alive but in a state of suspended animation. A butterfly at rest does not appear to be breathing, and its heart rate and metabolism slow dramatically. You might think that this would make the butterfly vulnerable to predators, but it's actually the opposite. Because butterflies are so well camouflaged when they are at rest, predators often have trouble spotting them. Additionally, freezing in place reduces the movement of the butterfly's wings, making it less noticeable to flying predators such as birds. To understand why butterflies don't need sleep, let's look at how humans do. Our nervous system controls our sleep cycles, sending signals to our brains that make us feel tired. As we fall asleep, we go through different stages. In stage 1, we relax and our eyes droop. Stage 2 sees our heart rate slow and body temperature drop. Then, in stage 3, we hit deep sleep, where our brains process memories and emotions from the day. After a few hours, we wake up refreshed and ready to tackle whatever comes next. Butterflies have it pretty simple when it comes to resting. They don't need sleep like we do since their nervous system isn't complex. Instead of going through sleep stages, they just switch off. When they rest, their brains don't process memories or emotions, and their bodies basically hit pause. It's like they're taking a chill break without all the fuss. Ever wonder how a butterfly can just chill without falling asleep? It's all in their anatomy. When they're at rest, butterflies fold their wings and legs tight against their bodies, tucking in their antennae and mouthparts. This helps them blend in and use less energy to stay upright. Plus, they enter a state called torpor, which is like a super low energy mode. During torpor, their body temperature drops, heart rate slows, and breathing gets shallow. Believe it or not, they can stay in this state for weeks if needed. Pretty cool, right? But why do butterflies need to be so careful? Why can't they just sleep like humans? Well, it's because butterflies are much more vulnerable when they are sleeping than when they are awake. You see, butterflies are constantly being hunted by predators such as birds, reptiles, amphibians, and even other insects. If a butterfly is spotted sleeping, it is easy prey for a hungry predator. That is why butterflies have evolved to be able to rest without actually sleeping. By minimizing their movements and blending in with their surroundings, butterflies are able to avoid detection by predators. Butterflies face some serious challenges, especially during cold snaps. When temperatures drop, their body heat goes down too, making them sluggish and unable to escape predators. To survive, many butterflies go into a state called diapause, kind of like hibernation. During this time, their metabolism slows, they stop growing, and some even change color to blend in better. Plus, they produce antifreeze proteins to protect their cells from the cold. It's all about staying alive until warmer days return. Here's the cool part. The blue morpher has those stunning iridescent blue wings that scare off predators when it's flying, but when it's sleeping its wings are curled up, hiding that bright color, to stay safe while catching some Z's. The blue morpher has tough, scaly skin that helps protect it from any sneaky threats. Isn't that fascinating? Butterflies face some serious challenges, especially during cold snaps. When temperatures drop, their body heat goes down too, making them sluggish and unable to escape predators. To survive, many butterflies go into a state called diapause, kind of like hibernation. During this time, their metabolism slows, they stop growing, and some even change color to blend in better. Plus, they produce antifreeze proteins to protect their cells from the cold. It's all about staying alive until warmer days return. The amazing thing is that butterflies can remain in a state of diapause for several months at a time. During this time, they are alive but in a state of near complete immobility. Now that you know that butterflies don't sleep at night, you might be wondering where they go when the sun goes down. Well, the answer is quite simple. Butterflies typically remain in the same location at night. Instead of flying around, they will perch on a leaf or tuck themselves away in a crevice in the bark of a tree. Some butterflies may also fly short distances to find a more suitable roosting spot. But generally, butterflies do not travel far at night. If you want to learn more about what happens to a butterfly at night, you can do a fun science experiment. All you need is a butterfly net and a white sheet. First, put the net over the sheet and place it in an area where butterflies are likely to fly. Then wait until nightfall and observe what happens. You may be surprised to see a variety of nocturnal butterflies resting on the sheet. You can also try placing a light source behind the sheet. This will attract moths and other nocturnal insects that are active at night. Just be sure to handle the butterflies gently so you don't harm them. Now that you know all about what happens to a butterfly at night, you will never look at these beautiful creatures in the same way again. You might even start to wonder what other amazing abilities butterflies have. If you want to learn more about these fascinating insects, be sure to check out the links in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe for more fun science videos. Until next time, keep exploring the world around you and never stop asking questions. Hey there, little explorers. Thanks for joining me today. Remember, every time you learn something new, you are one step closer to understanding the incredible world around you. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep having fun with science. Until next time, take care and goodbye.